You said you don't feel British anymore.
No, not really.
Why? How come? After Brexit or what?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
But as I said, I mean, I've been here for 17 or 18 years. I don't tend to go back. I feel that I've integrated to an extent that I feel more part of this culture than I do that culture. To the extent that I go back and, I found difficulty like adjusting to my prior cultural norms, like.
What's so different between British and Germans? I mean, for us, for me, it will be very hard to tell because I don't know so much about British culture. So I'm like, they're Europeans, right? How different are they?
Wow, what a question. I think, yeah, a lot of this kind of British culture is it's kind of built around this. I don't know how to describe it. There is this. I would say that in Germany, particularly, I guess people have a degree of formality in terms of what their expectations are of when they deal with people. And yes, sometimes it can be super strict and annoying, dealing with people. And then in the UK, that kind of doesn't exist. People have let this formality go in a way that can be construed as being rude, even though it's not.
So I have thought that British are more polite in the way they talk.
I wouldn't say so, no. I think British people give off this impression or like to think that they are more polite in the way that they talk.
It's a Victorian stereotype.
Exactly, yeah. I guess it's difficult to know because the way in which we experience and learn about cultures that we're not integrated with comes through mediums like TV and radio, and it's not until you really go there and meet people or even spend time there that you really actually get to know how people really are. But I do think that people's expectations of British culture really come from Harry Potter and Guy Ritchie. And it's not like that at all,
And Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
Everything from BBC.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. But are you married with or in a couple with a German partner or something? Or because you said you feel very integrated and everything. I'm with a German woman, so for me it feels therefore easier. But I wonder when someone doesn't have anyone to connect to the culture, maybe it's harder. Is it like that for you, or that has nothing to do with it?
Well, I mean, not really. I mean, like I said, it has a lot to do with the time that I've been here. I got my German passport a couple of years ago as well.
Yeah.
I set up my own business here.
Learn German,
friends, like it's all part of the process, really. Yeah. I think, I don't want to talk down about other people so much, but I do feel like there are people here that exist with, and the metaphor is like they have one leg out of the bed, like they like it here, but they're always thinking about going somewhere else, or is the grass greener somewhere? And for me, like at some point about 10 years ago, I thought, well, no, like if you're constantly thinking about being somewhere else, then you're never really going to firmly commit to actually being here and making it work.
When did you stop feeling that way, that you maybe were with one foot somewhere else? Or since the beginning you thought, new life, I don't move?
Yeah, I don't know. It's really difficult to... again, you're coming up with all the hard questions, aren't you? I don't really know, to be honest. I'd say like about 10 years ago, I've, I guess like you, like I've known many people here that have left over time, which is weird, knowing a lot of people who come over here because the rents are cheap here and the opportunities are good here and whatever, and then they leave. And I think after a certain while, I thought, I don't want to be one of these people. Like, I want to commit. I really want to give it a go. And it's just been more beneficial just taking that mindset.
Yeah. I also feel the same way. I mean, I have met so many friends. Many have left, but I still have some, and I keep meeting new people, especially with the podcast, and I feel more connected with the city through the podcast. And then if I leave, I have to start from scratch.
Yeah.
Again, and to meet new people and to make new friends is like dating somehow. Like, okay, you have to give it a try to find your tribe, find your group. That I also at the moment don't feel like moving from Berlin.
Yeah. And I think the difference for me, since I started writing these books and working as a tour guide, I've started to learn more about the history and the societal history of Berlin. And that feels like I'm going to therapy with my partner, Berlin. Like, I'm starting to learn more about it. Its trauma, its history, and its development. And I'm like, oh, I understand you so much better now. Why didn't you tell me this before?
Actually, it's a good metaphor. Because so many people live here, but it's like just they live here, they just go work, then party, then sleep.
And they meet with the other friends who also don't like Berlin.
Exactly.
They just meet to complain. Yeah.
I've got a quote that I want. I hope you don't mind that I share with you.
Yeah.
So one of my colleagues at the Berliner, Nathaniel, he wrote a book called Revolutionary Berlin.
Okay.
He's also a tour guide. This book, Revolutionary Berlin, it's a fantastic history about the rise of unions and groups that try to thwart and change social politics within the city. And in the conclusion of the book, he summarizes the city and his relationship with the city in this quote, and he says, today, a century later, the real Berliner probably comes from Bochum, Budapest, or Baghdad, but what holds us all together is our profound dislike for this place, though apparently we hate it just a little bit less than everywhere else. And I think that kind of sums it up quite well. Yeah.
Yeah.